So far, so good. I'm at work, ready to go. And I got a question for you. I'd like to get to know you better when we talk. Do you mind if I give you a call on here and we talk?
What up, everybody? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Mike.
And we'd like to welcome you to This Life Together.
That's Twogether.
See, I didn't even I'll let you.
Look, I wasn't even going to put you on blast. It's still in my line last week, but you just had to mention it.
Yeah, I had to, because after the episode came out, I was screaming help, but nobody was helping me. Anyway.
We have two very, very special guests on today's episode. We have Meagen. Hey. And we have my darling cousin, Karon.
What's going on?
And today's episode is going to be a continuation of last week's. We're going to be continuing talking about millennial dating. And these two wonderful ladies experiences with it because they hold meals and y'all can't get it together. So here we go. Okay. So I just wanted to ask. I'm going to ask you first, Meagen. And then I ask you, Karon. Don't pray to me that my eyes are closed. I'm pregnant and I'm sleepy. So what is it that you feel is the hardest hurdle to jump in terms of today's dating?
The hardest hurdle? I think people actually putting who they really are on the forefront. Like, they hide so much up front for no reason. And I don't understand it. I don't know why. Like, I'm trying to get to know you. I don't want to know the fake you. I want to know the real you. Because, come on, what's the point?
So basically, people just put on airs.
Yeah.
That's a fancy word that I learned.
I mean,
Pinkies up.
but thinking of it in terms of dating anyway, that's how people are in general. I feel like it's hard for people to be extremely vulnerable straight out the back. Because then you don't want somebody to be like, hi, what's your name? Like, hi, my name is Caleb. I have 2 kids, an ex-wife, and I just lost my job. They're going to be like,
no. That's not the same thing. There's a huge difference between
hiding stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Or even
sorry, guys.
pretending
Try to
to be somebody.
Yes.
Pretending to be somebody that you're not is completely different than oversharing.
Like,
you don't have to overshare to be yourself.
yes.
I can still get
I
to know
concur.
you with you giving me doses.
Right.
Oh, excuse me.
I had a guy that reached out to me. He wanted to connect. He like, oh, you like to work out, this, that. I go to the gym with you. We went twice. And he was like, every time I'm like, oh, you want to go to the gym? He's like, nah, not today. Not today. And then later on, he got down like, well, I don't really work out like that. So why do you even? I'm gonna tell you, the reason why he did that is because of the fact that he thought that was a level that he could connect with you on. Because he saw that you was going to the gym and he low-key wanted to get his life together and go to the gym too. So that's why he was gonna try to go to the gym too.
I feel like even more
when he
so
saw you was really about that gym
yeah,
life,
he
was like,
he really thought you ain't go to the gym like that.
you running on the treadmill, you walking.
Right.
He's like, so we going 4 times a week? I thought you just want to go once. Like, right.
Why did they all know your name?
He ain't think that you was really about that gym life, so he thought that he could slide it in. And like, oh, you go to church? Me too.
Right.
Like, oh, you believe in God.
Like, oh, you
I just believe in Jesus. You believe in Jesus. And you believe in the Holy Spirit? Bruh. It's too much for me, Lord.
I was about to play with y'all like, oh, not today.
So, Karon, what are some of the things that you've come across that is just like,
Bruh.
like consistently, like what is y'all doing?
I don't know. The main hurdle that I keep running into is people not being emotionally available. Or it's like, it's the whole like, I'm not ready tidbit. And it's like, are you really not ready? Or are you just refusing to rise to the occasion because I'm somebody who challenges you? Mm-hmm. And I'm not just accepting the BS type of thing. And it's like, I understand we all kind of got our things that we working through in life. You know, everybody got baggage to a certain degree. But it's like, if you not even working and try to at least sort out your baggage, most people are just complacent at where they are. And it's like, dude, like, I can't get jiggy with that.
Mm-hmm. So when do you typically find out that these people are emotionally unavailable? Like, is that forthcoming information?
It's not forthcoming information. It's something that you just kind of have to find out as you roll with the punches with, like, trying to get to know them. Because it's like, some people might drop, like, little nuggets, like, oh, well, this is kind of something that I could take in doses or whatever. But it's like, as the doses come more, then you start to realize, like, oh, this person isn't talking about this, or they're not talking about that, or they're not really bringing up this. Oh, you brought up the fact that you're divorced. Oh,
right.
Well, then that would definitely indicate the reason why you ain't really trying to be about that relationship. Like, all right, cool for sure. Like,
how you
it's
slide
just like
that
little
in
certain
there?
things.
I was about to say, like,
They literally
people approaching you?
In there.
Jesus Christ.
Listen.
I had nothing for that. That was rough.
He like, I can't help you all this time, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Well, nah, yeah.
Jeez, like, you know, it's
That's
cold
all
outside.
right.
My ex-wife
But I
used
think
to hate
people
the
just
cold.
really
Like,
like,
what?
I think that's like just the same thing where dudes say girls go on dates with them all the time, but it's like, oh, you only wanted to go on a date with me to eat. Okay.
You asked me. I turned down free
Hold
food.
on.
But even
That
still,
ain't fair.
hold on.
fair.
But at the same token, like I always come prepared on a date with my own bread.
Yep.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
With my own bread, just in case the joker decide he gonna get up and leave, or he try to sit here and say we going
I'm
dinner.
gonna bring your own bread.
It ain't no matter.
I'm
Money
gonna
ain't a
take my
thing, boo.
wallet and I'm gonna go for my card, and then
I'm gonna let you pay.
That's a lie. And the ring finger stated that's a lie. No, I don't have a problem with us going on the first date, and I ain't gonna hold you up and be like, oh, I expected you to pay for this date because you asked me out, because I realize we live in a different day and time. So I don't have a problem. I'm not going nowhere with nobody if I can't afford to cover my own bill, whether you told me beforehand you was paying or not.
I definitely did that on the first date. That's why I was like, you just want to get some ice cream.
Wait, what? First date?
That was our first date.
No, we went for a walk and then we went to dinner.
We went to dinner?
Caleb be trying to front.
I thought we had to get ice cream.
We definitely didn't just get no dang on ice cream. But, yeah, I wouldn't have had a problem with,
That's why first dates I don't never expect
pulling
when
my
joker
wallet.
to take me to Jay Alexander.
However,
or something.
I will say, and this is just me, y'all could, tear me apart later. I'm not paying on no first date if you ask me out on this date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
But what
paying,
if you ask him out on a date?
I was just about
If
to
I
say,
ask you out, I'm looking to pay. If you haul off and you pay, that's
Oh,
I'm
different
looking to pay.
breed.
No, because like normally, because to me the standard is if I ask you out, I'm expect like whoever asks you out.
I mean, you just got
that's the person
common
who pay.
decency. That's what that means. I know people that be like, hey, you want to go
Because
out?
even when it come down to my
AKA,
friends,
hey, you want to pay for me to have some food?
no,
I know people.
Men be like
yeah,
that.
that's very true. I had a situation where a dude had asked me out, and then this was our second date. The first day he paid. Second day he had asked me out, and then when it got closer, it was like, oh, we were supposed to be going to a comedy club, and he like, oh, you know what? I ended up leaving my wallet at home. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know what? If you still want to hang out, we could go somewhere. Just get some burgers or something. I got you.
How you
She
drive?
said the library.
How you drive? They got no license. Turn around. Stupid.
Listen, okay.
That's
But
why you at
anyhow,
home right
I'm
now.
like, it's cool.
Maybe he been driving.
It's cool. I got you. Now, I'll say in my experience, that's another issue because I'll be dating somebody, or I would have been dating somebody.
Like
My bad,
I'm
honey.
gonna get the Louisville slugger out the
About to knock
crib.
these mics over like, what?
You done.
Everybody
At
out.
the table.
Cut. But no, like I've dated people who is real gung ho at the beginning. They paying for every single date. Every single date. I ain't asked to go nowhere. I ain't asked you to take me nowhere. I ain't asked you to feed me. Matter of fact, I told you I was busy, but you like, no, we can work around your schedule. What about the next day? So if you're that insistent upon taking me out every day, then when we actually get in a relationship, oh, can you pay for dates sometimes? Like, be consistent, baby.
Wait a minute.
Be
Wait a minute.
consistent.
Can you pay for dates sometimes?
Yeah, I've been asked that.
That's kind of a weird approach to that.
I agree,
babe.
and that's why you're my husband.
Did I ask you that?
No.
Oh.
That's why you're the husband.
Right.
I'm like, that sounds very strange. Like, how do you even bring just like the ex-wife? How you just slide that in there?
That's one of those things with Meagen was saying though, where people don't want to be forthcoming. That's the
Like, I feel
exact
like
same
that's something you
thing.
should still talk about on the first date. I shouldn't have to
Dog.
find out 3
What was
months
we
later.
watching?
I mean,
we
like-
watched Waiting to Exhale yesterday, and my man was like, "Yeah, my 12-year-old son, I can't keep letting my wife." She was like, "Your wife, your son."
Right.
Like what?
Mind you,
Where did this come from?
this is months down the line.
Like,
I'm just like, bruh.
son.
Yeah.
What I'm supposed to tell my son and my sister? Why you don't want me?
Why you can't come to the barbecue? What I'm supposed to tell them? Wait a minute, brother Ryan. You just said this was your mama's. Now your son gonna be there?
Yep.
Okay, he's 12. Oh,
Meanwhile, they knew each other for 3 whole weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, I thought it was interesting what you brought up, Karon, in terms of just people not being emotionally prepared to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What does being emotionally prepared look like for y'all? That was a serious question.
I know.
Oh man.
I mean, look, it's definitely all about intents in this aspect or whatever. I mean, like, I'm not saying that when we first meet, you just gotta be like, oh, well, damn, Karon, like, you the person for me. We about to get married, this, that, and the third. I'm not looking for you to look at me and instantaneously be like, oh, that's my wife.
But
unless you Matt Kemp, but that's different.
You probably, but you also probably. So what I'm getting is you basically just don't want to be in a situation where I feel like it was easier for us to say and do in like high school and stuff like that. Like, oh, I'm talking to such and such, but y'all really ain't learning nothing about each other. Y'all just being around each other. But it's different than if you say you want to date somebody and then all your actions are just like you're just another friend, basically.
Right.
So that's I think
a glorified friend with benefits.
Right. So I'm saying like those are two different things.
Right.
So I get kind of where you're coming from in terms of like you can't say that you trying to see like basically people just be sugarcoating stuff and then saying stuff with different words like, oh, I'm just trying to see what's up with you. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
You know, like
I'm
I'm
not
not
trying to see where this going.
Yeah.
Where did that take going? Like, how can we be going anywhere when you're not even divulging personal things about
This is a great analogy. How long do you drive with no maps on and then realize you don't know where the heck you going?
10 hours.
Which is equivalent to real life. That's about a year. You wasted a year of somebody's life because you like, man, I'm just trying to see where this goes. You know,
people are very comfortable within that though, and they don't like to admit when they have commitment issues or stuff that has nothing to do with you.
You know what?
Nothing to do with you.
What I have more so recently discovered is like sometimes when it comes down to me and this whole like I don't know, like I'm starting to realize that men just really don't be knowing. And I'm not saying all the time. That's why I said sometimes like they really don't know. And like I'm gotten to the point to where it's like, okay, well if you don't know, you can figure that out by yourself. I won't be here.
Okay.
I won't be here while you trying to figure that out. Like you have to be 100% sure about me. And even if you're not, just come out and say that like, hey, I'm willing to like be open and get to know you, and then we can, try to figure things out from there. But it's like if your intent not even really trying to get to know me or at least try to see if we would match, then what is you wasting my time for?
I think a lot of people are in love with the idea of not even necessarily love in relationships, but they just don't know how to be alone.
Yep.
They're in love with the idea of having somebody. That was the other thing that we was talking about with Barlow. Like, you sit on your phone all day long and you see other people in their relationships and old relationship goals and even celebrities, which are people that you don't know at all. But it's a highlight reel. So you sitting there like, oh, I want somebody to go kick it with. I want somebody to do X, Y, and Z with. But you don't want to put in that work.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes across and they're actually like in a serious place, looking for a relationship, ready to put in the work or whatever, what have you, you don't know what to do with that. I think that's what causes people to not know what they want because you didn't know in the first place.
But I think that also can be attributed to people just not being able to be by themselves. Because being by yourself, you learn not only about yourself, but you know what you do like, you know what you don't like, you know what you do want, you know what you don't want. But I think when, just to go back to what you were saying, like people to say like, oh my gosh, I would love to have somebody to kick it with. But these be the same people that get somebody to kick it with. And then when it's time to like either go out on a date or do something, they don't know how to communicate that because they've gone off of somebody else's relationship. So point of example, I'll say this. I know somebody that was like, they was talking to somebody and they like, they finally they wasn't their girlfriend, but they were just in the quote unquote dating phase, so to speak. And they like, well, she don't never ask me to do nothing. And I'm like, well, what are you trying to do? I'm like, man, we could just go for a walk. We can go to the movies or something. And I'm like, but did you tell her that?
Right.
And then he like, nah, because it shouldn't be just a one-way street. We should be trying to get to learn each other. And I'm looking like, how do you expect her to know that if you never communicated that to her? And then it's just like
Everybody expect everybody else to be mind readers.
Man, it's
I
like
don't have time for that. But
it's
that also
weird.
gets me in a lot of trouble. So
being a mind reader.
no, not being a mind reader. Not even in context of relationships. I'm just way blunt.
I'm like, where's it going with this?
People don't really know what to do.
He
with
like,
that.
oh, this is
people-
something I didn't know.
Like,
for us,
on the pod? You gonna tell me this on the pod?
no, for us, that works because Caleb takes my bluntness and actually don't like take it personally. He just know that's how I am. Like if there's something that I need to say to Caleb, I can say it to Caleb, and Caleb not gonna be like.
Because now I know. Usually it'd be like, it's two different I don't knows. So example, I'm like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. That means you really don't really care. You ain't trying to care. You want me to pick. Mike is just like, I don't know. And I'm just like, all right. Like,
I really don't be knowing.
I don't know.
I really don't be knowing.
So, yeah.
But that just get us into trouble either, because Caleb really don't be knowing. That's why we eat the same fat restaurants when we eat out, or we just cook, because we really don't be knowing. He just texted me when he got off work today, like, yeah, what we eating? I'm like, I don't know. I just want some fruit. I don't know. I eat a bomb pop. I don't know.
Here you go with the bomb pop.
Listen, it's real. I don't know. But I think that people just don't really know how to communicate. Like, they don't know what they're looking for themselves. So if I don't know what I'm looking for, I can't even begin to internalize what you telling me that you need, because all I'm thinking about is my needs. Like, well, how does that fit me? How does that benefit me? Oh, if you say you like XYZ, but how does that fit me?
I swear that's why it's
Like,
important to be by yourself before you actually.
I don't think that's a piece that people really even think is a part of the process,
Yeah.
though.
Because if you can't deal with yourself, how somebody else will deal with you?
Boy.
That's why I've been alone so long.
Okay.
But even
You
with
can't
being
deal with
alone-
yourself.
Hey,
Even
okay.
with being alone, though, you have to be conscious of the fact, like, is it alone, like, you getting to know somebody in the process of that? Like, you have to be mindful of what being alone means to you, because that means different things to different people, too. Like, you could be in a relationship or a situationship and not have a title with somebody for a year. That's not being alone. So you have to really be specific about the time that you're focusing on yourself. And I think that's what's really, like, being alone. Like, whether that's 3 weeks, 3 years, 3 months, whatever. Like, if you're taking the time to really develop an idea of what you're looking for in yourself, you'll have better results once somebody approaches you or once you approach somebody else. Because at least you done spend some time, like, by yourself trying to figure it out. People don't even know how to do that. And they just be out here like, oh, I'm going to be by myself for this week. And then as soon as somebody slide in your DMs, it's like, hey,
you
give him a
cute.
try.
Oh,
Right.
right.
I'm going to give him a try.
I'm back.
Okay.
Let me see what's up with you. So, with the last person that you guys have dated, and you don't have to say how long ago it was.
Don't say the person's name either.
Yeah, they don't want them problems.
We got
they might
listeners.
be listening.
We got
Oh,
listeners
well,
around the
like,
world.
no.
Oh, God.
I ain't like that. I'm cool.
Oh, God. What about that situation made it just not work out successfully for you? I'm mad, but we got sound effects.
Wasn't communicating like I needed him to. I would say, like, I would like do suggestions like, we can do this, or let me ask you this, or blah 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 blah, and it was like, oh, okay, or one word and blah 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 blah, and it's like, it don't work like that. Like, sir, I need you to talk to me.
Give me something.
Yeah, like I was saying about like the businesses and stuff that I'm doing or whatever, and then I'll be like, well, he like, yeah, I want to learn how to file my LLC and this stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, this is how you do it, blah blah blah, this that, and I'm like, well, what you trying to work on? Something. All right, no. You think I'm gonna steal your ideas?
Was he slow?
He might have been a little bit off the beaten path.
I was
You
like-
can't say that. It's mentally delayed.
No,
Off the beaten path.
No,
He
it's
has
a
a couple of
difference. It's a
screws
difference.
loose.
I was just like,
It's a difference. One is by choice, and the other one is something that you are, like you got to go to the doctor. Somebody say, you might have a problem. His is by choice. That's slow. He's being slow.
and that is the definition of slow by
Thank you.
Caleb Moss.
We ain't getting canceled.
And we ain't even gonna.
This is the world we live in today with slow individuals.
I was just like, yeah, that, and I feel like we honestly weren't really
Compatible.
Yeah, and I got to learning that over the few
But
months.
see, and that's the thing that I think that people don't really address is
Compatibility.
you don't, not even that. Like if you're not compatible,
When
it's
do you
okay.
just be like,
It's okay to say, okay, this ain't working.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. But I feel like I mean, that's probably always been a thing, but I think it's just got a title now in terms of like ghosting people. Like where it's just like, I ain't really feeling
So
that.
that's the thing.
And then it just
That's the
disappeared.
thing that's
And then that,
rude.
but if he wasn't doing that before, I'm saying, and you felt like you weren't compatible, he might have felt the same way. But instead of just telling you that, he just was like, all right, yeah,
basically, I'm gonna just let this run out until we just. Stop
I'm gonna be
texting
as
each
dry
other
as
back one
possible,
day. And
so
then-
you could break it off.
right.
Ninjas.
There's so many people that do that. Like, you in a situation that's just not working out or not benefiting you to the way that you wanted to, and you've reached this wall. But it's like, why are you afraid to cut this off? Like, why are you afraid that what they gonna do to you?
They
They don't
might
pay
have
none of
mama
your
issues or
bills.
daddy issues.
It's some type of issue because he texted me today like, "Hey, I miss you." Swipe.
Is
Get
he
outta
one of
here.
them what you doing people too?
Oh my God! Yes,
Because he sounds like that's consistent with his character. Like
He might not know how to talk.
I want you.
But he talking.
I like you and I want you. You gonna do this way the hard way.
I want you.
Did he talk with y'all in person?
Yes, like we would have
That's
full
strange.
conversations.
It's very strange.
I've experienced that.
Maybe he just don't know how to talk on the phone.
One of my friends, like, we get on the phone and like literally talk for hours. It was like one time we was on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours, but texting just ain't there.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Well, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad problem. At least not a talking person. If he was like that at both, then something was wrong.
I was just like, no. Even if, like when we got to being in person, it was just, I was just like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
And I'm just, because I'm starting to realize what I want, and it's just like, we ain't.
Usually those kind of people be real inconsistent with their forms of communication too. Like them be the people who be, what you doing? Oh, okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. Then the next day be like, oh, I miss you. Like, what?
Yeah, like
What do you miss? I haven't even talked to
We
you,
haven't
sir.
even
We've never
He
even
said,
had a
"Who do you
conversation."
miss? You don't even know me.
Love, are you sure?
You don't know me
like-
enough to miss me."
Listen, I got what you doing about somebody for months. Months now. Months.
That is so
Months.
annoying.
Months. Karan, no.
I wasn't even gonna say that.
Months to the point where it was like
Oh.
I wasn't even pressed to date this person. It was just weird. Like it wasn't.
But
like
you
to
can't
this
ask
day,
what you doing with
Listen,
no.
it was such a
game
weird set
plan.
of communication. In my mind, we not even dating because I don't know anything about
Who
you.
said, "What you doing?" I'm at work.
Oh,
No
okay.
response.
Listen,
No
listen.
response.
Hours later, I know you ain't at work right now. So, what are you doing with your time? Like,
He might have been.
I
He
would
might
just
have
be
been in the
messing
game.
around like I really think Buddy is slow. That's why she laughing. Like it was to the point where I'm like, so I don't mind hanging out with this person in person, but I'm telling you now, like we're not gonna be in a relationship. I'm not looking to date you at all. This person, like, well, I was thinking about marrying you. I said, but why?
You don't
But
even know
why?
me. I don't even know you.
It was
Because
the
it
most
sounds
awkward-
good.
It was the most
It sounds real
awkward
good.
just communication.
She get
ever.
married.
Then I can marry you and ask you
But
what you
and
doing,
see,
wife.
that's the thing. So I can't even say it's like people don't set the proper expectations up front because I 100% set the proper expectations with this individual very early
Yeah, he
on.
might have been slow.
Like
See?
I say
See, you
after
can't say
week
slow.
2.
He's
After
smarter
week
than
2, and I couldn't gauge whether you actually had feelings for me or not. I genuinely asked, and then they was like, "Oh well, if I didn't have feelings for you, I wouldn't be messaging you or talking
There
to
you go.
you or
There
trying to
you
take you out."
Messages wasn't nothing.
They were so
inconsistent.
inconsistent. I was so confused. After that conversation of you telling me that you swear that you was interested, I ain't talked to you for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Then when I did talk back to you,
He was breaking off his marriage.
no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it, but it could have been. He was a very peculiar individual.
Okay.
Oh my
Then it
god.
was like
Peculiar.
peculiar.
That's a heck of a
Then it
word.
was like we'd go on dates and be on dates for like 8 hours at a time. Like hanging out, going bowling, whatever, this, that, like literally whatever. Cool person to hang out with. On the phone, nothing. It was like I was talking to my fist. Like what? Like a sock puppet.
Your fist can talk back. I'm about to say.
Sock puppet. Sock puppet.
Why we all do the hair puppet
Listen. It had got to the point where, imagine, I ain't talked to you all day again. My first text message is, I miss you. I just looked at my phone and deleted the number and blocked them. Like, I don't have time for your shenanigans.
That's how it is now.
I don't have time.
So
It's hot out here.
I
I
thought
feel bad for
about.
y'all.
Hold on, I didn't even get the answer.
Oh, go on, go ahead,
Hey,
go on,
go
Brandon.
ahead,
Go ahead, go on, Brandon.
She had one in the chamber.
Right, I'm sorry.
Boom. Right, loaded. Locked and loaded. Like I'm ready. But no, I feel as though, with the most recent person who I guess like I quit dating or whatever, I want to say that it ended up being a lack of character. I've finally been able to kind of like put my finger on what it was, and it's definitely the lack of character, and it was inconsistency. Cause it's like
I agree.
we were talking about. Shut up, Micah. So it's like what you were saying to me before ended up not being like consistent with what it is that you're trying to say now. Because how is it that you know you think I'm great, I'm all the way up here, you put me on this pedestal or whatever, so to speak, And then it's like, oh, I don't know what I want. But you told me that was everything it is that you could ever wanted in a woman. So it's kind of like, what do you mean by you don't know what you want or whatever? And that's fine. It's cool. Go ahead. I'm listening. So it's like, you saying all this, but it's just like, all right, well, cool, whatever. Oh, okay, so it's not gonna be nothing more. Okay, well, I was forthcoming with my information to you, telling you that you needed to be 100% sure about me. And I don't care if you're not 100% sure about nobody else, because whoever else is ain't got nothing to do with KA. I'm just telling you that you need to be 100% sure about me, and yet you continue to try to pursue me. So in my mind, you're going by the stance and the stipulations that I put on this, and then later on down the road, you're like, oh no, like I stayed in my stance too, and it's like, dude, like I already told you, because I already pretty much told you what it was, and you could have just left me alone. Oh. Yeah. Well, blah, blah, blah. That's fine and all. Needless to say,
people dumb.
Little buddy is blocked. I don't know. No, because it's like, because then, in the conversation, I'm just like, so, at the end of the day, what is so special about me? Even though I know I'm the bee's knees, okay?
The bee's knees.
The bee's had knees is me.
Okay.
So, I'm like, I get it. It is just like, okay, I don't ever compare myself to nobody. But I'm just asking him, like, so, you telling me that you never wanted to lose me out of your life. Oh, well, I just missed our friendship. But then that's not what you said to me when me and you had this conversation before. I was like, because I already told you that I can't be just friends with you. So clearly you led me to believe that it was something else, or that it could have grown into something else, and it ain't really that. But that's fine though. Like, you will never have friendship, never have a friendship with me again.
So to expand on this, the fact that behavior altogether is selfish, I think, and I don't know what just made me think of this, but I think this might be the title. So people treat relationships like a hobby, and I feel like they don't be having nothing else to do. So why not just mess with somebody? That's really what it is. You basically, even if you're not catfishing, you basically doing what catfishes do, where it's just like they don't even be having no real goal at the end of the day.
They just be doing.
And then when they get caught, they're like, yes, I am obese and I'm behind the computer and I'm bald. And it's just like, I don't look nothing like the six pack that was on the So
but then it's like, I definitely did ask questions like, okay, so then why this? Like, why did you come back to bother me? Like, you came back to me. Like, I didn't come talking to you. Like, clearly you dealing or dating other people as well, trying to figure out what it is that you want. Oh, like, I was trying to figure some things out. Well, you figure them things out by yourself, sir, because I already told you what it was with me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that I was never somebody who had my own commitment issues. I'm just getting to the point, like, it's not that I never acknowledged them, but it's like I'm slowly but surely getting over them. And if somebody was willing to take the risk with me, like, hey, I understand that, we both working through our stuff. As long as we continue to work through our stuff, like, I'm ready to jump into this. If you ready, boom, we jumping in this thing together. But
they too scared to jump.
Jokers is too scared to jump.
It's just that mutual understanding, like that verbally communicated. Yeah.
Right, because I feel as though
people don't be wanting to tell you what they want, and then they just expect you to be on board with it.
Right, to be on board.
No, I never agreed to this.
Exactly, and the thing about it is that I've learned over the years that I'm a very effective communicator, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and other people aren't as intentional in their words as I am, because it's like, when I say something, you know exactly what I mean. You don't never have to go back and second guess. You ain't never got to figure that junk out. But other people, it's like they leave a lot of room for error. And I've always said that I don't like room for error. And I understand people have lapses in judgment and lapses in character. But at some point, you got to decipher whether if that's just a lapse or if it's just their character. Oh, no, joking. This is just your character and you lack it. And that's my non-negotiable. I'm straight. You block, I'll never see and or talk to you again. And if I do, it'll be too soon.
I love blocking.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, like, I feel like the generations before us would be looking at us like, I don't know, y'all just be doing a lot and blah, blah, blah. But the behaviors that y'all basically are telling us about are basically how people get in those situations where they be in like common law marriages. They be together, quote unquote, for 30 years. Kids, grandkids, great grandkids, never been married, and it's really trippy because absolutely not. would never work that way. But I know it's been people that like in like my neighborhood that I know. I thought this whole time that they were married, and I had found out that they like 70, and that's his girlfriend. Okay. I'm like, girlfriend? Yep. She ain't been no girl in 50 years. Like, It's just like, you said that. I was not talking about them. I ain't grow up over there. I didn't even grow up over there.
Whoa.
First off.
Hold on. Whoa. Paul, tea time. Time out.
Now, if we had sponsors, this would be the time.
Right.
Because, Lord, I didn't know where that's where you was going
Right.
with that. I live 4 blocks away from y'all.
Right
That
back.
age
These
was real
messages.
specific, so I have to ask.
I wasn't thinking about that.
You gonna go
And the world walk. Right.
Subliminally, I
Bruh.
feel like this just escalated so quickly.
So, Megan said something after the last episode that I thought was funny. But I wanted to ask her about it. She basically reposted the episode and was saying, you know, it's a good listen for us singles. It's like I'm listening to myself talk. But the gag is I don't date. So I wanted to ask both of y'all, is it not necessarily not like if it's not by choice, but are you choosing to be, you know, to basically accept your singleness and then just go about it as if it's not an issue? Or are you single because whatever the last situation that you was in didn't work out, and that's the only reason you're single?
Shall I start this? So, because I have technically been single for a nice little minute, and I can say that at first when I was single, it was because I was trying to not find myself, because I never lose myself. I was just trying to rid myself of those emotions that I had for that previous person.
Which definitely is important.
Yeah, so I definitely, once I did that, like, I was perfectly fine. Like, I started, you know, I ended up dating somebody else. Things didn't work out, but there's no bad blood, and me and him are like, we'll talk maybe like twice a year. Not too major.
Nice.
Right, maybe twice a year. Oh, you good? You straight? Flush out.
Still love?
Cute kid. You know, like, kind of whatever. Now that I am, like, older, I can say that I am single now. I'm more recently, like, not dealing in the situation. So as of right now, it's just like, oh, well, I ceased all communication. I'm just in here chilling. Now I see that I'm just chilling just because I feel like I need to just chill again. Not that life wasn't always about me to a degree, but I let somebody in my realm of reality, and now I'm just trying to decompress and kind of deal with just being back in my own realm by myself and not necessarily having anybody to kind of like talk to me or whatever, like all the time or whatever. Don't get me wrong, like I miss the conversations for sure, but
You got me. You don't need them.
I know, dang, let me finish. I miss the conversations for sure because conversations did get kind of like deep, but now it's like, shoot, I'm straight, I'm good. There have been people that have been trying to date me since this situation has ended. But I feel like they're all on some BS because I know that recently, this guy saw me the week before Valentine's Day. Yeah, saw me Saturday before Valentine's Day because it was after, you know, I got fried, died, laid to the side.
Okay.
Wow.
And he was just, and I didn't think that he realized that the day that he asked me to go out with him was the day before Valentine's Day. I don't think that he really paid that no attention. So he was like, hey, like, you know, like, we can go out next Thursday. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. Like, I'm off at 4. We can meet at 4:30. We was going to go to one of the restaurants downtown because I'm cool with the bartender. Free drink. And so...
Gotta set yourself up.
Right. So, you know, that's what we were going to do. And it came down to it, like, he was kind of talking to me or whatever. He knows where I work, and he knows that I work at least 10 hours a day. Dude just randomly FaceTimed me through the day one day, like 2 days before, and I was like, I texted him, like, first and foremost, who was this?
Right.
Because it was a different number than the number that he gave me when he saw me at the bar. So I'm like, he was like, oh, this so-and-so. And I was like, why are you calling me from a totally different number than the number that you gave me?
Trap phone,
So,
trap phone.
right, so it was just kind of like, all right, well, whatever. And then I'm like, so why are you calling me? You know I'm at work. Man, I just wanted to see your beautiful smile.
Man,
Dude,
yeah.
first and foremost, you ain't finna try to game me because I don't know. You can't.
Snapchat.
Okay, look. First and foremost, excuse my French, but I don't know Spanish. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. So you can't sit here and tell me you just trying to see my smile.
That man was not
But
at work. That's what that was. He was bored at home.
Right. So then,
He
What
was
you
doing
doing?
The day
that was
that-
that hey beautiful.
Yeah.
right. So then the day that we were supposed to have went out, I didn't hear from him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when he hit me up the day before, like, it was real small talk earlier in the day, and I didn't hear from him the rest of the night. The day that we was supposed to went out, I didn't hear from him at all. I know I had asked a couple of my homegirls, like, so how long do I go before I just all of a sudden just nix this and just, like, I'm going home when I leave work? So because it was about 12 o'clock, and I was like, yeah, we supposed to be meeting in 4.5 hours, and I ain't heard from Buddy all day. And so my friend was like, at least give him until 2:30. I looked at my phone. I was like, it's 2:26. I ain't heard nothing.
I'm going home.
She rounded up. She rounded up.
I was like, when I leave work, I'm going home. So I leave work about 4. I go straight to the crib. But then, like, dude hit me up at like 5:15, talking about some, what's up? And I said, shoot, Junkie, you tell me.
I thought you was gonna say, where you at?
He was like, what's up? And I was like, shoot, Junkie, you tell me. And then he was like, oh, so that means you off work. I was like, I told you the other day that I was off work at 4 because we were supposed to have a meeting at 4:35. Man, you know, like, yeah, we still going out.
I'm really
I was
trying to
see
help
if you
y'all.
needed me to pick you up. And I was, hold on. He was like, cause I just trying to see if you needed me to pick you up. I was like, sir, we were going to a place downtown, and you know that I work downtown. I was just gonna meet you where we needed to be. So me being the type of person I am, since apparently he got selective amnesia, I decided that I was gonna play it like I actually went to the spot. And I was like, man, you really had me sitting up in this. You really had me sitting here looking stupid by myself.
I was thinking about myself for
by
hours.
myself. And so he was just like, oh, dang, my bad. Like, he was real apologetic and everything or whatever. And so I was like, man, dog, whatever. It's cool. He was like, man, I really forgot what time we supposed to meet. So I went to our text message thread from the other phone number, screenshot and sent it to him, and my man ain't said nothing else to me after that.
Nope.
So then he finally hit me up like a couple days ago. He FaceTimed me, and I was like, I didn't see you in the Rolodex for the appointment for this FaceTime. Like, what's going on? And then he was like, man, I got to make an appointment to FaceTime you. And I was like, dude, because you're not even that high up on the vestibule about being able to just FaceTime me without a moment's notice. Like, you could at least say, hey, what you doing? And then if you had FaceTime me and I said I wasn't doing nothing, I would have answered. But I was just like, you know what, whatever. But he was like just sitting there just talking. He really wasn't talking about nothing. I was just like, see, these jokers is trash. But what I've come to realize is that the reason why most men do the things that they do when it comes down to this dating realm is because it has worked on somebody before. It has worked 100%. On other women. So they don't know what to do when it comes down to a woman and it's not working on them.
A new one.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not working on them. And it's like, dude,
But it's
chill.
the difference between like,
but hold on, but when we was on the FaceTime, he was like, yeah, so you was really at the bar by yourself? And I was like, yeah, man, because you know my favorite bar. I was like, yeah, man, like he saw me there. I was like, because I went to the bar, like I ain't go sit, you know, like get no table or whatever, because I ain't want to look lonely. So I at least went to the bar, you know, chopped it up with my homeboy, yada, yada, yada. I was like, shoot, I was drinking for free too. You could have had free drinks too, but you know.
you lost. Bruh. But I was gonna say, I feel like it's two different types of. I'm just saying it's two different types of like game, and by that I mean the intention behind the game in terms of conversation. So you can tell clearly if somebody just trying to see how they can get in your bed versus somebody that's trying to actually genuinely try to just break the ice. Those are two different types of game in my mind.
That wasn't even no effort.
No, but Buddy was just slow. So
Word of the day.
The term of today is slow.
The word of the day is slow. It's by choice.
Episode title.
He's choosing to be slow.
That don't make no sense. Y'all some sick individuals.
Man.
Yeah. So that's why I used to love to block people back in my day. And I'm also a very strong, advocate for blocking people. But I live vicariously through Karon. So when we be having these conversations, I just be like, block them. They be so rude. Girl, just block them. You don't need that negativity in your life.
Right.
Sound like
Negative
Shakira.
man.
Shakira, like, please block that man.
Just block them. You don't need that negativity in your life. Because the same thing gonna happen. He gonna act stupid just like my man's did. Or slow, I'm sorry. He gonna act slow. He gonna
By choice.
Term of the podcast.
choice.
disappear. A couple of days later, he gonna hit you up like, hey, beautiful.
He just texted me W-Y-E though. He just texted me W-Y-E.
This is coming in live. Coming in live.
Straight off the press.
Coming at you hot
What
top.
happened when you don't have him blocked?
See, what you doing?
See?
What you doing?
See?
I won't.
I'm telling you. I be knowing.
What you doing?
I be knowing. on.
This is
What's
a-
wrong with you?
This is a dislike to love at
Text
first.
back like talking about you.
Yep.
And see what he say.
I'm like,
what I do?
Serious.
What you
He
ain't
gonna
do?
be like, oh, for real.
Yep.
Let me he gonna
Oh,
FaceTime
for
me.
real.
He gonna mess around and FaceTime me.
Ooh, man.
I'm interested.
Who you telling
to
me
see that
about?
go.
No.
Text
Because
back.
look. Because I'm okay. So y'all want to hear this excerpt for this text message?
This is
Why not? This is live.
Excerpt.
Live and in
Excerpt.
color.
So yesterday, he had hit me up or whatever, basically like, "Hey, you good?" Literally the introductory message or whatever. Not, like, "Hey, how you doing?" or whatever. So some, "Hey, you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." LOL.
Right.
And I was like, "And you?" So then next thing you know, he was like, "You finished work for the day?" And I said, "Yes, I'm at my nail appointment now," because he knew I had to go to work on Saturday. He knew I had to go to work earlier today. So his response was, "That's sexy." I said, "A nail appointment is sexy."
What?
And so he was like, having your nails done is sexy. Can we agree on that for once? And I said I didn't disagree. I asked a question for clarity.
Oh, you sound like me. My God.
He was like, you didn't reply, so I was unsure. And I was like,
At this point, it's not you just arguing just to argue.
Yeah, I'm like, when did we not
Disagree.
agree on something? You mean when you said
Delusional.
we disagreed on the time that we were supposed to be meeting because you never showed up?
Again, the word of the day.
Slow.
I don't even gotta say it no more.
Where's Elmo and Sesame Street? The word of the
S.
day.
Right.
S
S is for slow.
Dead.
Lord, I don't even remember what the question is, and we need Meagen to answer. I think you asked this question. See?
Oh, I was asking, basically, are you single?
By choice or not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of both.
That's right.
Because between it being single by choice because jokers is trash.
Yeah.
Jokers being trash is the reason we single. So
But
it's
I
like an
also
endless
don't
cycle.
respond to everybody that asks me out, or if they do ask me out, I shut it down. I be like, I'm good.
I mean,
That's
that's
why Zell think Meagen toxic.
I be like, nah.
but that's real. Like, you don't need to come up out of your singleness for everybody. 'Cause
Yeah.
then at that point, are you really ever single?
I do a select few, and then I be like, oh, boo.
That's what
How
you
do you
about.
choose? What's the criteria?
Sometimes, okay, I'm be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll be out of pocket when I choose people. So I figure it out afterwards.
You live and you learn.
Yeah. And I'll be like, all right, boo.
Definitely living.
So, yeah, but I don't really have a criteria, to be honest with you. That is so sad. That is.
It's not.
You got rid of your whole list?
I have no list. I have no.
You might need to make a list.
When I tell you, oh, you meant my criteria list. I thought
Yeah.
you meant the people I was.
Oh,
That's your roster.
You better have a
That's your
roster.
roster.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Your list.
It's like, I have a stable, yes.
I mean, aside from the basics, like you gotta be working, like a decent type of person.
I don't know why you looking at me like.
My man FaceTime in the middle of the day. He ain't got no job.
But no, I don't have a real criteria. Honestly, I'm not that.
Is it just like a more of a
You know it when you come
general,
across
like
it.
Yeah.
just being an all around decent person?
Yeah.
That's fair
How
enough.
do you even figure that out? Like,
If they're a decent person,
yeah.
I mean, like, of course, it's all about like vibes and if you're attracted to
Yeah.
that person initially, and then you weed that out the further conversation.
I
goes.
mean, like, if somebody, but she was saying she doesn't necessarily go out with everybody who asks her out. So how do you get a feel for whether that person has good vibes or if that's somebody that you can vibe with?
You be looking for them 6-pack pictures.
no, honestly, I don't. That's
Hey, man.
no, she be going through the comments on different posts to see if they got common sense or not.
Yeah, I go through they post what they post, because you know what they put on their story, and they Facebook, and they like most of the people that ask me out, they follow me on almost everything.
Interesting.
That granddaddy ass.
Yeah, so it's like what you're not gonna put on Instagram, you put on Facebook, vice versa, like
You
that.
got different lives. We were just talking about that.
Yeah,
I got a different life.
Wait a minute.
But it's like because I don't
I didn't expect that at all. I got a different life.
every social media gets a different version of me.
Didn't I just tell you that? That's how I met. So first off, I met Karon via Twitter. I'm like, yo, who is your man's favorite Delta?
You gonna throw her plug out there?
She might be slow. It's the good type of slow. Like it was like, I feel like, and this is not even me trying to be funny. Karon was my daily dose of ignorance. Like when I listen to Charlamagne the God every day.
I'm screaming.
Now, just instead of looking at Karon tweets, I just listen to the Breakfast Club in the morning. It's like the same dose of ignorance that I get from Charlamagne is the same dose of ignorance that I get from Karon. I'm like, I would have said that too.
It's so concerning. So concerning. Oh, when Kayla found out that Karon was my cousin, he was like, nah, it all makes sense.
Like, yeah.
But it's like what I put on Twitter is not what I put on Facebook. But I rarely even post on Facebook. I just react to a bunch of stuff, and I might even comment, call it a day. Now, Snapchat is a totally different story.
I'm an old lady, and I don't know how to use all of these avenues.
Now, I would post more memes and stuff like on Snapchat because I don't want my Facebook feed full of memes, and I don't want Twitter full of memes.
That's my Facebook. That's my
But
page.
Snapchat is when you get like the uncensored, like if I decide to do a video, like you get the whole uncensored whatever. But Facebook is just, pretty pictures. I had somebody tell me that they thought that I was, they was like, looking at your Instagram page, you would think that you were vain and narcissistic. And I said, well, I am fine.
Okay,
I was like, and they were like,
read you by your Instagram.
hold on, but look, because there was like almost every picture is a picture of you. I said, because it's Instagram. And it's pictures of me. I was like, wait, am I supposed to sit here and just make all of these posts about all of these deep world problems? Like, nah, dog, this is about me.
You gotta stop talking to these fake woke 5% Neptunes, and I don't.
See,
sister,
what happens is
Right.
when the mercury aligns,
And it's
the
not
water is
just
alkaline.
Advanced niggerdom.
Y'all,
The word of the day.
The word of the day is Dr. Umar.
Oh, man.
Oh man! But to go back, I don't even know how this conversation got here. To go back to what Megan was saying, she went back to all of her boppers be following her on everything.
Oh yeah, they do. They be. Somebody said I got a fan club. I can't remember who said it.
That's what it sounds like. That's why I started laughing. Because I'm like, yo, I got 70 followers over the course of the last month. 25% of those men probably gonna try to holler.
Yeah, they try, and I'd be like, nah.
So do you think that these people generally be interested in your work, or do they just be more interested in you and they just trying to get your attention by following you on everything?
I think they be interested in how I look.
Interesting.
Not really me, because for example, I had mentioned like we can go on a date to a museum or something like that. He told me, he was like, museums are lame, so why are you talking to me? Why are you trying to date me? You talking to the wrong person. Like,
he don't know you. That's what
I'm saying.
So that's the thing. So people think that they really know you based on your social media, and that's not necessarily always the case. Especially considering the fact that
You post what you want to post on
you
social
post
media.
what you want to post. You post what you want other people to clearly see.
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have posted it.
Exactly.
But that is not that's not reflective of everything that's in your brain.
Right.
So I think that people really get not necessarily a false read, but they can't. Some people fully commit, like, oh man, that must be how she is all the time. And then it's just like, no, that's not really the thing. That's not really the case. And that go back to your point on how you say, like, people like, oh, that's couple goals, relationship goals. I was like, you don't know what they do at home.
Okay.
girl,
They might be nothing.
We thought
Bobby Whitney.
about to just say the same thing. We thought they was fine. They was making number 1 hits. They was smoking crack.
They was making number 1 hits.
They was smoking
Whitney said crack is whack.
We thought it was Bobby.
We all
Said
know.
crack is whack.
She
We
also
all know what
said
she was
that
doing.
She did crack and wait to exhale.
All these words y'all
Yeah.
dropping.
She did
Crack.
say that. She said
The
she
word
did
of the
crack.
day is
The word of the day is crack cock.
Oh my God. Kayla canceled. It's just your podcast now. My God, you got it.
Man.
You gotta work the equipment.
You right.
Wait,
He's your producer.
Wait a
He's
minute.
your producer.
I'm done.
He's stage manager.
I'm Ike nowadays.
Yes.
No, you ain't know.
Yeah, you
But-
ain't right.
She over here cracking her knuckles.
I'm in here.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, I'm a little bit of both. Just to,
Okay.
yeah. Or I like my alone time. I like my peace.
Which is good.
So I like to, if I don't have to have nobody in there, like, I'm not really, some people be like, oh my God, I'm yearning for somebody. I'm 28. I don't have no children yet. I get to go and do like
whatever you want, whenever
you better
want.
take full advantage.
That's
I'm
how I
telling
feel
you.
at 30. That's exactly how I feel at 30.
Take advantage, because once, like, and that was just, it's the same thing, just being in a relationship altogether, because I know that was one of the things that I feel like, if anything, whenever I ask anybody for like advice in terms of like parenting and stuff like that, they know clearly we don't have a child physically here yet, so they're like, oh, you better take all the time that you can when it's just y'all two. Yeah. Same thing applies to, I feel like, when people are single, but they don't really, I feel like people sometimes get into, like, they go into like autonomy mode, where they just be basically robots and shells of their own self. They just go in day in. I go to work, I come home, I eat.
That's all.
I
I
might go to my
days
family.
off work.
Like, you gotta like, you have to take the same effort that you have to take to learn your person that you dating. You gotta take that same approach to yourself. But if you don't put that same energy in, you're gonna be, that's how people end up in situations where they might not know for real what they like or how they feel towards you, because now they on the
figure it out.
Right, now they on blast because they put in a position where they have to know who they are, because if you know who you are, you come into a relationship, you're looking at them like,
or if
what
you're
is wrong with
comfortable
you?
voicing what you don't like, they're not gonna know what to do with that.
Right,
because they don't know how to voice what they don't like. They just used to going along with the
flow
motions until they tired of going along with the motions and they resent the person
because nobody ever held them accountable for that thing.
Facts. So if y'all had to decide what would make y'all come out of this hiatus of dating, what would it be? What would it take? What would it take?
The Lord
come down and
hey, that's a guaranteed contract. That's a guaranteed contract. I already, hey.
I'm just saying, I already got a direct look.
Okay.
And twins.
Wait a minute.
Listen, you can't be behind the Matt Kemp and not be behind the Kemp twins.
Right.
We discussed this.
Right. We already
160 million.
I'm sorry, 160 million. According to Forbes.
I'm like, did you just look at it?
Yes, I did.
You did just look it up.
Because I thought it was 100 million, but it's 160
No, it's the
million.
Kemp twins. Like, I already have the names, speak out and everything. I can't divulge the information.
Okay,
but,
don't do it.
you know.
I thought he was married.
No.
That was
Absolutely
real
not.
awkward.
He's not. But
No. And he just turned 35. He'll be 36 this year. So I think that he's prime time ready to settle down. And he a country boy, so you know he like him thicker than the Snicker. I'm in there.
He'll probably likes him another way as well.
Yeah.
Caucus.
Oh, I was about to say, smell like a dick.
Last name Alvarez.
I don't know.
Oh,
She
shit.
kind of looks like queso dip.
Also, first of all, that article is from 2018.
They might still be together. What will bring you out, Megan?
Me? It'd have to be somebody that really knows what they're looking for. Like, at least to the point where you can verbalize and say that you want a relationship.
But what are you looking for? You can't be looking for somebody that know what
I
they're
mean,
looking for. What
okay,
are you
so
looking for?
I do want a relationship, but I'm not actively looking for it. I'm focused on me right now.
But I'm asking you, what does that look like? You're not answering my question.
Maybe because I don't know.
I have a real answer.
That's
other
an
than that.
answer, though. That's a real answer. That's a real answer, though.
What?
She said
She
she
don't
don't
know.
know. That's a real answer.
Because I be so focused on me, I don't. That's sad. But
It's
it's not.
not.
It's not sad.
It's not. I just
It's
be
really
like,
not.
That's a real answer.
I know.
You know that eventually you want one, but
Yeah,
you're
Like
not
more than
dying.
People know.
Yeah, I'm not
'Cause
dying to
most
be
people
with
will dance
somebody.
around it and be like, oh, you know, well, if they get, and I'm looking.
That's
at
not on your
that-
priority.
Like, what?
That's not a priority for you
That's
right
Yeah,
now.
it's not. It's not.
It's something that you want, but it's not a
That
top
can
priority
come
right
later.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the answer right there. Bang.
Right.
Thank
Boom.
you.
Well, that's my answer too.
Thank you.
Boom.
Wait a minute. I
No,
thought you were gonna
because
You sat here and said that you didn't know what you wanted. And it's like, I'm not immediately like pressing to be in a relationship, even though like I'm about to be 31 this year, but I'm not like, oh
What
my
that
gosh,
mean?
like it's the end of the world.
What that mean?
I wasn't saying that it meant anything. I was saying that
Right,
even
even
though
though she
I'm
done lived longer than Tupac, she better
I'm
start.
about to say you better relish in the fact that your skin still look good.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm turning 31, but I'm not pressed to be in a relationship. However, if I was to get into a relationship, I just want somebody who's 100% sure about me, who knows that I am what they want, and we can go from there.
Okay.
But that doesn't really dictate what you want. That just dictates what they want. Because they could be 100% sure
okay,
about you
so
and
me,
be like
what I
somebody that
want-
you just wanted in a friend zone.
What I want is I want somebody who is
That's what I'm
effectively
saying.
who can effectively communicate and let me know, even if like we having disagreements or whatever. It's like, dude, like if you feel like you just need your space, like, hey, just give me a minute. whatever. Because I'm definitely one of those type of people. I need somebody who has character.
Yes.
I understand we all have lapses in character, like I stated previously. So, per my previous conversation, I understand we have lapses in character, but I need you to always have character. You know, overall, just whatever. And I need you to be you, 110%. I don't need no posers, no pretenders, nothing. Yeah. And know who you are when you come for me.
I agree with that. As I'm trying to know who I am when I.
It's interesting you bring that up. Because
dun dun
dun, somebody slid in my DMs for Karon.
Okay. Yes.
Micah is very much aware of this person.
However, we will not mention this person's name
on air
or divulge any further information because Caleb had already said too much.
Hey man, shoot or shoot.
Okay.
You didn't give this person a chance to shoot.
That is true.
You just said that they slid in they.
People slide in Karon DMs all the time.
No, they don't.
You took the
well, he
you
gonna
took
slide.
the play tour and said,
You done messed it up.
No, I didn't.
You done messed it up.
I know what I'm talking about.
We apologize to you. You know who you are. Caleb, sorry.
They don't listen.
Well, I don't know who you are. So
When somebody did that for Caleb was mad.
I was pissed.
So why would you
Caleb.
just do
And it
that?
still work. And it
Okay.
still work. Cause shoot or shoot.
basically,
I've been in the gym
saying,
way too long to get the game.
Okay.
And
You
I
ain't
made
in
the
the
shot.
gym no more. You out.
I was in the gym until I shot, and I made it. And look where we at now.
about to have little baby Chloe.
Thank
Okay.
you. He was in the gym with me. He was in the gym
mean-
with me. He was shooting on the rack too. He was grabbing the ball.
Just
He
go
coulda
and
been-
DM her. Just DM her, please. Just do it before.
No,
Because
he
Caleb
might
might
pull
come out
up.
and
He
be
might
like,
pull up at work. You don't
Listen,
even
he
know.
gonna blow the whole show.
I hope he don't pull up on him.
I hope don't nobody pull up on me.
It's gonna be. It's face. It would have been FaceTime, dude.
Stop talking about Caleb is ruining this man's chances.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Don't pull up on her. That's
You
like,
are. Listen, that's what you get. That's what you get. Over here about to choke on
Computer
this man's drink.
Dog choking like I was at 4 o'clock this morning.
Don't have lemonade
Y'all
on
do
the
it.
computer.
do not
Look.
pull up on her, please.
Please don't.
If y'all.
My God.
So I
I can't
want
even
to.
drink my water now.
I want to take a different approach to the way we ended the first part of this episode. If y'all had a song to describe you during your singleness, what would it be?
It's not a song.
What is it?
You know what? Because dang. Now I think of so many. First and foremost, I was told a couple years ago that my theme song was Kamaya, I Got Niggas. But that's not the case at all. That's not the case. What?
Why would somebody compare you to Kamaya? It's Kamaya. We on fire.
Shout out to Dot.
Oh,
Man.
bruh.
If
That's
Actually.
hard. The whole time.
I had to pick one thing, like a song or whatever, it's not really a song, it's a slam poem. And I was introduced to this slam poem in 2009/2010 by G8. It's called Cold Queen.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'll send it to you.
Y'all look that up too out there in the audience world.
In
Right.
TV
Oh,
land.
Barlow's song was Lucky Day. What's the name of the song?
Fade Away. That's why the title of episode 22 is Fade Away.
Mm.
Boom. There you have it, folks.
I don't
Ooh, the
know my
title of this
song
one should be
would
Cold Queen.
It could be.
It's gonna be
It's
slow.
slow.
Well, dang, I tried to shoot my shot out there.
What about you, Megan? What would your song be to describe you and your singleness?
I don't know, cause I don't know why the Return of the Mac came back.
Oh, come on! Ooh, yeah. Hey, y'all. So y'all heard it here first. We're here live. February 23rd, 2020. Megan is coming back with a vengeance because y'all lied to her. And now she's coming back.
How bad y'all just explain that though? That was crazy.
Bruh.
Megan and
goodness.
Mac. Megan and Mac founder.
But we want to thank both of y'all for coming and having this conversation, just because we think it's important to hear from both sides, especially with stuff like this, because it can go. If we had one side, it wouldn't be a fair conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
So we definitely thought it was important to have both a male and a female perspective, even though everybody's not generally lumped into one.
And we love y'all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, okay.
Go ahead, Chloe.
This has been another episode of This Life Together.
Peace.
Bye.